Hey everybody, welcome back to Astronaut Lounge. I'm Papa Stonks. Today we've got Elephant Money and SK is going to be presenting for us. Elephant Money is the first decentralized bank of its kind. It's a permissionless system for economic inclusion that helps its community accumulate wealth through active and passive income flows. Not to mention their LP being the second largest holder of wrapped BNB in the world. Because uh, SK, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your history in the space, and we can get into the project after that. This is a very in-depth project to go into.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely. Thanks for having me here, Papa Stonks. And hello. My name's SK CryptoK. I've been in DeFi since January of 2021, and I am a YouTube influencer. However, of all the things that I've experimented with in DeFi, all of the dozens of projects that I've diversified into, there is only one. There is only one that is it's just standing and towering above all else, and it's a over 2-year-old protocol. It has a deep liquidity with a large treasury, and there are some tokenomics here that we'll discuss today that will blow your mind. And it is here at Elephant Money. And just so you guys know, I am not part of any paid marketing team from Elephant. I am just a passionate community member who I just volunteer my time to make videos and also go out of my way to teach people about Elephant because it's just that damn good. Okay. And so Papa Stonks, at any point, feel free to stop me and ask questions, or if something I didn't say made sense, then, I'll run it back and try to drop a different analogy. But that's a little bit about me as the presenter of this project today. Just also understand that the founder of this project, his name is Bank Teller, or you can call him BT for short. He is doxed. He is known out there. You can find his LinkedIn, but his name is Tony Perkins in real life. He is an MIT computer scientist that has also worked as CTO at Fidelity and has, had experience in fintech and State Street and all of these economic and engines and vehicles out there in the real world today, and over 25 years of experience doing that and translating it over into the DeFi space, where he's been coding in DeFi specifically for 6 years. And now Elephant Money is the culmination of all of that hard work over these 6 years across the Ethereum chain, the Tron blockchain, and now the BSC. And it's an amazing platform that you guys will be learning about today. And hopefully we keep your attention here, because you're not going to want to miss this.
100%, man. And this is, if anybody is taking a look at the TG or the chart, you've seen basically this chart just keeps going up. You want to touch on the exploit that there was, and what happened there, and basically it's what uh, 6x from 6x from that dip right now.
No, I'll go across all of that. So anybody that's new, when we talk about this is a 2-year-old protocol, this thing is battle tested. It's already been through the ringer. Okay. And, when it comes to most protocols out there, when they get hit with a $261 million flash loan, they go belly up and they die, or they launch a V2 and they fail. Okay. Elephant didn't do that. Right. We, a year and 4 months ago, suffered a flash loan exploit on the mint redeemed function of our treasury. And, here we are. We're about to thrive and go parabolic again. So before we get into all of that detail, let's just talk about some of the fun stuff real quick. Let's look at the chart. This, what you see on screen right now, this is since June. of last year. Okay. And what is it doing? You see this, right? There's only one direction that this chart goes. And it's no more evident than seen also in this image right here. In just the last 12 months, folks, when you compare Elephant Token to literally the rest of the world, what is Elephant Token doing? You see this? Against the Bitcoin, against Apple, the stock market, gold, crude oil, Google. Who is winning? The blockchain doesn't lie, right? Elephant Token in the year of 2022 outperformed all 100% of the top 100 crypto assets. And now in 2023, it's about to do it again. Are you telling me there's back-to-back years that this token is literally about to win again? Prices increased year over year 233%. At the time of this, 96% of the top 100 crypto assets are being outperformed, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, by Elephant Token. I'm willing to bet by the end of 2023, this will once again read 100%, just like it did at the end of 2022. All right. So this is a deep liquidity juggernaut here. All right. That isn't going anywhere. So you can see right here, if you were to look up the liquidity for Elephant Token, it is spread out across two LP pools. You've got the BNB paired with Elephant, and you've also got the BUSD paired with Elephant. Combine those two totals, and you get $68.5 million in locked liquidity. Liquidity is king. All right. How many of you know about all those other tokens that launch and they do a 100x and then somebody, I don't know, a week later sells $500 and that 100x evaporated because it's some low liquidity startup trash? Okay. This is a deep liquidity juggernaut, right? And in addition to this liquidity, we have an Elephant treasury right here. All right. Actually, I just messed up my little Zoom thing, a little rusty here. But this Elephant treasury has $52.5 million in addition to that liquidity that I just showed you. Okay? There is liquidity in this protocol, all right? Now, I'm going to show you something else. We're going to look at this chart again because, right now it's all sunshine and rainbows, and we worked hard to get to where we're at today, and you guys are paying attention at the perfect time before we go parabolic again. This time history is going to repeat itself minus an exploit. And so we're going to go into the details of that right now. But what I want you guys to understand is, okay, when it comes to the Elephant Token, Papa Stonks, you tell me if this makes sense to you, right? If I were to tell you, brother, to go and buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dogecoin or, anything, even a share in Apple or Tesla or Microsoft, right? You could get into any of those things I just listed today, but then what's the fundamental issue? And when you think about this, you're getting into those prices of stocks, those tokens, whatever, and you have no idea who the whales are. They are speculative assets, okay? And when you get in and all these people got in before you for cheaper than you, with bigger bags than you, you're at their whim and mercy if they were to dump on the chart, aren't you? Because they got mortgages to pay. They've got medical bills. That'd be like me putting $500 million into, I don't know, Bitcoin, and then Papa Stonks asking you the next day, hey, man, go buy some Bitcoin right after me. And then the moment you buy, I sell my $500 million. I plummet the price. Yeah, right? Yeah, you're used to it. That happens all too often. And all those things I just listed all have that same issue. You don't know who the whales are. You're just guessing. You're just hoping that it goes up. Here's the difference with what Elephant does. That treasury that I just showed you right here. This treasury is the number 2 holder in the entire ecosystem. The top human holder only has 0.8% of the entire supply. Okay. But an elephant, when it comes to this elephant treasury, aka she's so important, her name is Bertha. This is the whale in the system that does not dump the token on your head. Because of the value capture happening on the tax, the in and out tax on the token, because of the contracts that are, taking all those funds and then buying elephant token to stuff into this treasury, this whale gets larger and larger and is selfless. This whale does not have medical bills, does not have kids to pay for, does not have a mortgage. This whale just keeps getting bigger. And what happens when you have a friendly whale in the system? Is it starting to make sense? If you have a friendly whale that doesn't dump the token, what does the token do? It doesn't dump. Why do you think this chart keeps going up? Why?
100%. And so I know people are going to have this question. Who is in control of Big Bertha? Who owns Big Bertha? I know it is, a friendly whale. It is the treasury, but who is in control of that? Are there any safeguards in place, like a multi-sig or anything like that, to control that wallet?
Oh, that's a really good question. So when it comes to elephant, bank teller only trusts himself. There's not a multi-sig. He does not trust anybody. Okay. And he cannot just reach into Bertha, put his hand in the cookie jar and just rob Bertha, right? She is in an immutable contract, and the only ability he has is actually to write whitelisted contracts that interact in an APR fashion in and out of Bertha. And that's actually what we're about to talk about with the exploit, because the flash loan that happened, that $261 million I told you about, that got injected into Bertha and then immediately redeemed out of Bertha after it lopsided some pools, and they pulled out a bunch of money within one block. Ever since then, now it's a ring of governance contracts, those whitelisted contracts I just mentioned. There is a fortified ring of contracts that now surround Bertha that stop all the incoming money going in and all of the money going out. Those contracts are the only things that are allowed to interact with Bertha. There isn't just like a back door, let me just wipe out Bertha. That doesn't exist. Okay. And when it comes to BT, the man's already got his pedigree and is well known, established in this DeFi space as, someone that's actually credible, smart, knows what they're doing. We know where he lives, a 2-bedroom apartment. He's got a 9 and 12-year-old daughters, right? He's doing this for them. This is cash flow for all. This man has no reason to ruin something that he's trying to, change the world with, right? And his resume speaks for itself. But yeah, there's that. Now, at the moment, remember, we are still recovering from an exploit. So the chart, everything looks great, but we're not out of the woods yet. Once we are, though, once we're out of building mode, because BT just created NFTs, he's still adding things to the ecosystem that capture new people's attention. But once building mode is over, that's when everything gets completely renounced. He wants to retire from Elephant. There is nothing else after this. He is done. And when this can truly be renounced and the sister token of Trunk is back to Peg, that's when he can actually just walk away, ride off into the sunset, and everything's good to go. Then, when those keys are renounced and everything's just running decentralized truly on its own, yeah, that's when the system's just going to, operate itself and no one has control of anything. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so do you want to touch on the sister token to Trunk as well?
Yeah, later. Yeah, Trunk isn't really... No, it's not really the focus. Primarily the elephant token. Once we understand that fundamentally, then we can talk about futures, which is the ROI DAP, and then the NFTs. Like those three things, the tokens, the futures, DAP, and NFTs are the main focuses. Trunk token and all of that comes into play after we, 10x, 50x, and beyond. But let's get to that real quick. So I want to talk about this exploit. That's what this red and blue chart is right here. Okay. I was just giving you a complete picture of everything before we talk about the fun stuff. So this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about, oddly enough, because I look at this as actually a position of strength. Again, this level of a sophisticated attack would hit any other protocol and they would die. They would just die. Like 99% of anyone else would not have survived an exploit of this caliber. Okay. That is true testament to deep liquidity, for one. Also, the tenacity of the founder to not give up and walk away. He put his nose down to the grindstone and then just continued to build, fortified the attack vector. And now we have a proven concept that is about to happen again. So let's take a look at this, right? What are these numbers, SK? What are we looking at? What this red and blue chart? What does all this gibberish mean? Let me paint the picture for you guys, right? If I lost any of your attention, tune back in right here, right now. This is the supply shockonomics on why I'm telling you this token, in my opinion, non-financial advice, is going to 100x and beyond. Okay. Now take a look. This on the left half of the chart is red and blue. This is actually a pre-exploit. All right. This really, really dark red line that you see on the bottom, that is the price of Elephant token. Okay. The red on the chart, this represents Bertha. This is that elephant treasury Bertha. Remember I told you that whale who gets bigger and bigger and doesn't dump on you? This red is the whale, Bertha, right? And, the exploit forced her to dump on you. That's why she disappeared. But, follow me here. Back before the exploit, the red was getting bigger and bigger. The whale's just eating all the tokens up, right? And the blue represents the LPs. This is the amount of elephant token inside of the LPs. That means that this is the available token count on the market, right? So Papa Stonks, when you and I when we go to the store, this marketplace to buy some elephant token, when we purchase it, we are pulling it out of the LPs in exchange for our money. Okay. Now, while we're doing that, so too is Bertha. Bertha's also buying it, right? So as Bertha's getting bigger, and as we and Bertha are buying tokens out of the LPs, the blue's dropping. The LPs are dropping because we're pulling those tokens out, right? Now, look at when the red and the blue crossed. Focus on this for a second. When the red and the blue crossed, this now meant that Bertha, the whale, is now bigger than the available supply on the market. And what did the price do when they crossed? What did that price do? It went parabolic. Look at this, guys. This is all blockchain data. You can't make this shit up. Literally 3 weeks after the red and the blue crossed, the token went parabolic because of supply shock. The scarcity, the supply demand aspect of this tokenomics, these treasury tokenomics, pushed this price into I'm speechless. I don't even know the right word, but it just pushed it into crazy parabolic mode. I can't even think of anything else.
Call it what it is, supply shock.
Yeah, they went stupid into supply shock. And at the time of this Papa Stonks, the elephant token was only at a 40 million market cap, and it went to a 600 million market cap in 30 days. From 40 million to 600 million in 30 days. It also, same thing, 6,000 holders to 18,000 holders in the same 30 days. Now, this isn't because of YouTubers and Telegram lounge, circles. This was because of algorithmic charting websites and chart watchers and just the FOMO effect. Everything else in the industry was crabbing sideways while Elephant was supply shocking its face off. Okay? Now, I bring this up because, look, we were doing good for 30 days, right? And then the exploit happened. The mint redeemed flash loan made Bertha in red the whale who's not supposed to dump on you. It forced her hand to dump on you. So you see how all of these blue tokens, remember all these blue tokens that were draining, the drain, we're going down, down, down in the blue, and then boom, the exploit happened. Bertha got zapped. That's why the red goes away. You see that? And then all those blue tokens, boom, got released back into the wild. You see my yellow cursor right there? All those blue tokens got put back into the wild. And for this couple week period right here, this is when, BT was just transparent. He put everything on Medium articles and just update after update. Okay, I discovered this, and here's the wallets where the money went to. They tornado cashed it, and that money's just sitting there. The FBI is on them. He was just completely open and transparent with the community, said, this is the attack vector. This is how going forward we can actually patch this up and rework stuff, redesign it. And then, we'll just come back. So he was completely open and transparent. He also pointed out that when it came to the exploit, nothing administratively breached the actual token contract for Elephant or Trunk. It was the mint redeemed vulnerability, right? So then Bertha comes back online right here. Up here she had like 212 trillion tokens, and then she fires up right here a couple weeks later at like 64 trillion tokens. And then here we are, a year and 4 months later, folks. Papa Stonks, what did the red and the blue just do recently?
Oh yeah, they definitely crossed. It's kind of like for people that watch indicators, that would be like the MACD, the golden cross right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
man.
can see it on the actual chart. You can see the price movement on the chart following that line.
Yes. That's the key takeaway, right? Like, not only did the exploit battle test and gut punch this protocol, my favorite aspect is actually what happened right before the exploit, which was the fact that this is a tokenomic concept proven true. Wow, somebody actually cracked the code where you can combine scarcity on a token with a supply-demand effect in an innovative way never seen before in DeFi, and boom, red and blue crossed, token go up. Now, this AMA that we're having today, in the Astronaut Lounge, guys, this is literally me handing you the winning numbers to a lottery ticket and sending you back in time. Okay? This is a concept proven true. And what is it doing right now? Again, it's staring at you in the face. The red and the blue just crossed again. And what is that price doing? Okay? That's the ticket here. I'm looking to the past as my crystal ball to predict to you what's going to happen in the future. This isn't some pie in the sky, oh yeah, with marketing dollars, I speculate we can do this. And yeah, community, if we could all band together, we can go to the moon. This isn't any of that crap you see in 90% of crypto. This is deep liquidity staring at you in the face with genius tokenomics you have never seen before. You find me another damn protocol that can do anything close to what you're looking at right now. I'll wait because you can't. You cannot find another asset that's outperforming the entire market 2 years in a row. Okay, guys, this is not your average shitcoin. This is the truth, guys. Like, come on, it gets no better than this. So when you look at what this chart is doing now, okay, and we're building deep liquidity, let me remind you, deep liquidity across BNB and BUSD, $68.5 million on a market cap that's only what, $312 million right now? Look at how healthy of a ratio that is. $68.5 million of locked liquidity to a $300 million market cap, right? That is not chump change. Okay. And not only that, this is a multi-billion-dollar protocol staring at you in the face right now. Okay. This is going to go places. So, all right. What's your next question? Let's go.
Right now. And I think, it's very important to note, guys, that BNB is on a hell of a dip right now. So this liquidity was over 70 million before the dip. I think it was around 75 million actually. Still the number 2 holder of BNB in the world, just in this liquidity pool alone. So
that's actually I'm
huge.
glad you. Mm-hmm. No, that's major, and that's actually shown right here. If I pull up wrapped BNB, I'm gonna look at the holder list. Oh man,
elephant money.
Yep. What do y'all see right there in number 2? WBNB with over 85,000 BNB tokens. What's that say? It's the elephant.
Coins.
Yeah.
Coins, sir.
Mm-hmm.
BNB coins.
BNB coins. Yeah. I don't even know what I said. But hey, fun fact too. BUSD. If I were to look at the holder list for BUSD, yes. I believe that we're number 6.
Yeah, and that is also something else we can talk about, the split, the multiple liquidity pools, the multiple liquidity pairs. You got BUSD and BNB, so you do have a stable pair, and people are able to buy with BUSD as well.
Yeah, and confirmed number 6 on Elephant BUSD right there. So, yeah. This isn't playing around on the BSC, and what we'll get into here in a little bit too, as well, is just because you mentioned BNB going down in price. What's actually spectacular about this chart again? So the cheaper BNB, oh dude, we actually
up, BNB goes down.
Yes,
crazy.
Yes, it's crazy. We're outperforming BNB. And the way the tokenomics work, price is actually dictated by how many tokens are in the LP. So, if I break this red and blue chart down, look at the numbers on the left side here, okay? In the LPs, we have 110 trillion tokens. And, fun fact, there's 1,000 trillion tokens of elephant, or 1 quadrillion if some people like it that way. That's all that can ever exist. You cannot mint any more elephant token. So, you have in the LPs combined 110 trillion tokens. In the last 7 days, we have removed. Oh, what did I just do? But anyway, we have just in the last 7 days removed 2.4 trillion tokens from that number. And the more tokens that we remove from the LPs, that's more of a supply shock, actually. Here's the numbers again. Also in the treasury, this is the red on the chart. Bertha is at 168.4 trillion tokens, and in the last 7 days, she's increased 1.2 trillion tokens. So that's what's happening right here. The red is going up, the blue is going down. When BNB actually gets cheaper, dude, you know what's crazy, Papa Stonks? You can actually pull more LPs out, or more tokens out of the LPs faster. And you actually get to the point where the elephant token will be supply shocking faster the cheaper BNB gets. So elephant price doesn't actually go down with BNB like a sinking ship. It actually just it grows the holder count. You know how we have 85,000 BNB tokens? It just accelerates us getting to 90,000 tokens and 120,000 tokens. We just gobble up more BNB and we stave off any of the price decline. It's crazy to think about, but bro, it's already happening. So I'm also going to look at this chart and kind of zoom all the way out. But guys, this is the exploit. All right.
Yeah.
You see this now from beginning to now. And, you can literally, you could just zoom this all the way out and it doesn't matter, what you see here. But if I did a 3-day chart, put your thumb over the exploit, and what is the token still doing? What's the trajectory? What's the trend line?
Straight up.
Right.
Straight
So
up.
what's going to be really exciting is, Papa Stonks, when we talk in a year, and this chart is going to look something like this, and elephant's going from point A to point B, and we'll look back at this exploit and be like, man, what was that, a chart error? Like, look at that little blip down there, But elephant price is going to be way up here, bro. It's going to be crazy.
Yep. So, that actually brings us into some of the, the utilities. How are these? How are the funds coming in? You guys have the futures. You've got all kinds of stuff for elephant that is just bringing constant revenue in and feeding into that treasury.
Yes.
And what is being done with the tokens in that treasury?
Yeah, no, that is a perfect question. Let me see if I can find the right chart to actually break that down for you. No, this isn't the one I'm looking for. It's right here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I want to explain something before I'm going to give you the full picture here. So when it comes to elephant token, guys, and we've already kind of gone over the scarcity aspect of it, right? And oh man, how does the price just keep going up? Like, what happens when people do a bank run and sell and blah blah blah, right? Well, reminder, the largest human holder only has 0.8% of the entire supply. Okay, they could literally sell their entire bag, and the chart would, kind of flinch. Like, it wouldn't even drop, right? That's the deep liquidity. Okay. And that's also the aspect of Bertha being the largest, non-human holder whale, or the second largest, I should say, that's protecting the price. She's acting like a backstop. And so here, I'm looking at the holders list for elephant token, right? You'll see here, these are contracts. So I'm going to review these top 4 contracts here. You've got the graveyard right here. This always holds 50% at least of the entire supply, and it rebalances. We'll talk about that. Number 2, this is Bertha. This is at 168.5 trillion tokens. Remember that we just talked about right here? 168 trillion tokens. So that's Bertha right there. And then in third place, you've got the BNB LP pair, and you've got the BUSD LP pair. And then starting at number 5, this is the first human holder. Take a look. Look at this breakdown. The top human holder only has 0.8% of this supply. And fun fact, no, it is not me, and it's not the founder either. This is just somebody that has been a fan of Bank Teller's projects for 6 years. And I think even 1 week after the exploit, they doubled their bag. They went from 4 trillion tokens up to 8 trillion tokens once they realized, that the exploit didn't completely cripple the entire ecosystem. So they were smart. They actually doubled their bag. But then everybody else underneath that, look, they're under 0.5%. Okay. So even the top holders on the scariest day of the exploit a year ago, they largely didn't even sell. So you're in good hands even when it comes to the people that are holding. And they have no reason to really sell their elephant. And here's the beautiful part, Papa Stonks, because of futures, because of the NFTs, because of the yield generating aspects of the protocol, they don't have to sell their tokens. And so yeah. And this is why. So here's the participants. Okay. We talked already about the 1,000 trillion tokens that are out there, and half of them are held in the graveyard. We just talked about that. And then you've got your Bertha, this yellow slice of the pie. This is Bertha right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Oh man, come on. Okay. Bertha right there in second place. and then you got the LP pools, right? And then collectively you have all the participants here. Now this is May 1st of last year, and I just want to play this graphic, and month after month you're going to see this token distribution change. And this is what I mean by pay attention to Bertha getting bigger over time, right? Look at this yellow slice of the pie. I'm going to hit play. Here we go. Bertha's starting to get bigger. The LPs are getting smaller. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. You see how Bertha just charged up in size, okay? And the LPs shrank. Bertha is going to keep doing this trajectory that you just saw, and I'll run it back one more time. But you'll see that as people profit take, they buy, they sell, the participant count's changing, but Bertha's count is always getting bigger. And that's because of the value capture. So this is why the price doesn't go down, guys. The value capture that's happening on the taxes, the in and out tax of 10%. But hey, if you find my link in the chat right there, you can get it for 8.5% tax. That value capture, is going into the graveyard. It's going into Bertha. It's also reflecting across all other token holders. Okay. And it's that value capture that keeps this price going up. And here's an example. So Bertha, we know in yellow is her token count. She's just steadily, linearly going up in token count. Okay. And the bigger her token count gets, remember, the more of a squeeze on the supply she's doing. Remember this? So the bigger the red gets, the more she starts to control the price. All right, so follow me. So as Bertha's getting bigger in token count, this is since June of last year, her token count has increased 99%. So she's gone, from, 70 trillion tokens up to 160 trillion tokens. She's gone up 99%. But the value in blue, the value that she's actually holding, has gone up 673%. So this is, guys, this is completely different from most everything you've seen in DeFi, which is true like Ponzi-nomics, right? Money in just goes into a little pot and then money gets claimed out. It's just money in, money out. Those are all Ponzi-nomics. I don't know if you're familiar with these other ROI dApps like Drip and Furio and stuff like that. Those are just Ponzi-nomic models. But here at Elephant, it's completely different. First and foremost, you need to remember that this chart is going to sell itself. This will get user adoption, okay? The rest of the world will be trading sideways, and Elephant will just continually be green on a chart, and people are going to FOMO in. That's just inevitable. It happened a year ago. It's going to happen again, right? But it's the value capture that happens when those people come in that go into Bertha, and she has a multiplicative effect on that incoming dollar. So check this out. Every dollar that comes in to Elephant Money. Now, this was made by a community member named Bailey, the Elephant Money Herd YouTube channel. He's a math professor. So check this out, okay? If $100 comes into this ecosystem, it will buy onto the BNB LP or whichever LP, and it's going to appreciate in price just a little bit, the price per million tokens. Like right now, I know if you look at, this is some old math. This is like a month or two ago. But if you take the current price of 0.0000002, right, and divide it by a million, you get an easier to look at number of 20 cents per million. Okay, follow me, guys. Follow me right here. If the price per million was 20 cents and $100 comes in to buy the token, here's the value capture happening on Bertha. Look at how the price just increased. Look at how all these digits are the same between these two numbers. Before the $100 came in at 0.204503. $100 comes in, then it becomes 0.204506. You see how the 3 turned into a 6, all right? That incremental, tiny little price appreciation that happened on the tokens, when you spread that out across Bertha's token count of 153.6 trillion, she has a treasury value gain right here of $500. Let me run that back. $100 comes into the ecosystem. Bertha supply shocks it into $500 because that little price appreciation per token spread out across 153 trillion tokens equals this value gain in her pocketbook. This is the supply shock. This is why the price keeps multiplying up faster and faster, because the treasury is hodling the value without ever giving it up. Okay? Now, this will make more sense maybe in this graphic. No. Actually, this same table right here. So when we talk about futures, you can compound in your futures for a $200 injection of BUSD. But this table is the same exact thing I just showed you. Look, Elephant, Bertha, treasury size, 150 trillion, 175. She's growing in size. We already know right now she has 168 trillion tokens, right? She's right here in the middle. Now, when a $200 buyback comes into the ecosystem, because that price appreciation is being spread across trillions of tokens, she has a multiplicative effect on that $200. She makes it $1,000 or $1,400. The bigger she gets, the bigger the multiplicative effect. $2,800, $5,000, $7,000. She's turning $200 into $7,000 locked in her protocol. So wait. How does that make sense? What's going on here? And how does that translate into longevity and sustainability for the actual token? So here's another example of futures. If people come in with BUSD, and in this particular scenario, this is 2 months ago, look at Bertha's size for one, okay? She had 144 trillion tokens. Right now, we already know she's bigger. She has 168 trillion. Also, at this time, she was valued at only $24.5 million. And today, we know she has $52 million. So she's already doubled in value, but has only gone up 20 trillion tokens, right? So she's going up in size and value. This is the same concept I'm telling you right here. This is all blockchain data. This is already happening, right? Now, this is what happens with this magic. When someone came in with 518,000 BUSD and locked it into futures. So Papa Stonks, I'm going to say this was you, bro. 2 months ago, you came in with 518,000 BUSD and you locked it into futures where you cannot take that out, bro. You can't change your mind a week later and take out your 518. It's locked. So you damn well expect to get your ROI back, right? You want your 518,000. Now check this out. We just discussed the topic of the Elephant Treasury Bertha has a multiplicative effect on value. Because she goes up in size, she multiplies value, and this is how this applies here. When you came in, Papa, with $518,000, this bought 2.5 trillion tokens of Elephant and stuffed it into the Treasury Bertha. That's why I drew this arrow the way that I did. This bought 2.5 trillion tokens, stuffed it into Bertha. Now, a regular Ponzi would mean this. Papa Stonks, when you want your $518,000 back over the course of like 10 months or a year or whatever, a typical Ponzi would be, well, okay, I gave 2.5 trillion tokens to Bertha. So when it's my turn to get my money back out, that means Bertha sells 2.5 trillion tokens to give me back the same dollar value. That is Ponzi money in, money out. But no, what Elephant does is, Papa Stonks, you gave Bertha $518,000 at 2.5 trillion tokens. But in the future, when she owes you back $518,000, she doesn't sell 2.5 trillion tokens, Papa. She sells like 300 billion or 500 billion. She sells less tokens to give you the same dollar value back. Is that starting to sink in? Let that resonate. No. Let that marinate real quick. You get it, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
because her token count is always going up, but her dollar value is exponentially going up faster. So when it comes to paying out the liabilities of these yield generating aspects of the protocol, Bertha pays for everything. And you gave her 2.5 trillion tokens today, like maybe back here. Let's say you gave her 2.5 trillion tokens way back here when her dollar value was this small little blue. And then by the time you're owed back $518,000, well, her pocketbook is exponentially larger. She can look at you and be like, "Oh yeah, little Papa Stonks. Oh, you want $518,000? That's chump change. Let me just reach into my pocket of like multi-billions. Let me just like flick a penny at you, bro. Here you go. Go on your way." That's the model happening here. You get it, dude? I hope this is resonating and making sense with people. These tokenomics don't exist anywhere, guys. This is an all original concept that is just underground, and you guys are so at the ground floor right now. It's insane.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah. And thanks for doxing my wallet, by the way. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah. No, that's the beautiful thing about futures, guys. So I know I kind of jumped around because some of you are like, "Whoa, hey, what is futures? How does that work?" And I mean, we can go into all that, but you know, I just wanted to really just drive the point home, guys, that this is a truly just gravity defying protocol. And by me jumping to these certain aspects, I really want you to understand the sustainability and how, you know, this isn't a Ponzi. This isn't money in, money out. This is money in. Bertha then multiplies that money, sells less tokens, money out. You see the difference? You see what the middleman is doing to your funds? And those funds coming in is from user adoption. How does user adoption happen? Well, that's what the token chart that just keeps going up. Like it all hopefully is coming full circle. But if you want, we can then start going into stuff like futures and whatnot.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, it was a perfect segue. You know, yes, you know, people are probably wondering, you know, what are futures and this and that. So let's touch on that. You know, when somebody puts into, you know, puts that $518,000 in there, and how are they getting their money increased from futures? You know, this is obviously, you know, crypto futures. So what is being done what from the trading aspect on this?
Yeah. It's not futures in the sense of trading. It's just the name of this contract. But yeah, no, really good question. This should make sense. I'll be pretty quick about this, but you know, underlying point, I want everyone to understand when you look at elephant money and you think of this like a business, okay? You know, this is the business, and the share price is the elephant token. We've already just beat that drum of the elephant token. You see why that token just goes up, and the numbers speak for themselves. You want the share price. If you're brand new to this ecosystem, you want to start with the elephant token. Get as much of that as you can, because non-financial advice, in my opinion, it will never be this cheap again. So if you want the mathematically assured chance of 10, 50, 100, 500 Xing your token over a few years, get the elephant token. Okay, start there. But then if elephant money is a business and the share price is the token, well, then what's the product of the business? What are you selling? What's the product, right? And that's where futures and the NFTs and trunk and all that comes in. But the product of this business is yield, okay? Yield. Sustainable yield. Yield, I can't speak. That is provided by Bertha, the elephant treasury, because the value of that treasury exponentially goes up. And by engineered design, the asset growth, this exponential asset growth in blue, always stays orders of magnitudes ahead of any debts and liabilities generated by the system. So let's put that proof to pudding. Let's look at futures real quick, okay? So this is my personal bag of futures. I want you guys to understand that I take this, seriously. Oh man, sometimes my Zoom thing messes up, but I'm going to show you. Like when it comes to my bag right here, let's see if it'll actually load my. Okay, it doesn't load. My browser's been messing up, but that's okay. Look, I have a total locked value right here of 37,000 BUSD. This is more like a certificate of deposit, right? I am giving up BUSD, giving up my principal, and I cannot change my mind and pull this all out in one go, right? This is locked. And when I locked my money into this system, I am now earning 0.5% daily on my value. And here's my interest right here, 0.5%. All right. So at this moment, I have 932 BUSD staring at me in the face. Now I have two options. I can claim this out and pocket my $932. But if I do that, just understand this will deduct from my balance. Okay. My 37,000 will minus 932. So this will say 36,000, whatever. So I may not want to do that though, right? I'm in build mode. So how many, Papa Stonks, are you familiar with the other ROI dApps? Have you heard of Bankroll Flow and Drip?
Oh yeah.
Some of these other ones?
Yeah. There's there's a ton of them out there, but obviously not all of them have been as successful as Elephant has. So
right.
I kind of want to hear, what exactly Elephant is doing differently than, some of them like Drip. A lot of people were in that. A lot of people made money from it, but now it's kind of
dead.
Falling. Yeah, it's dead.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Nope. And so I'm glad you have the foundational understanding of what those other platforms operate like. And here's the difference with futures. Actually, I'll start with this. There are two main things on why those other ROI dApps have failed and will fail and will continue to be down 99.9% year over year on price. And those two things are easy. Number one, hyper compounding. How many people go into those protocols, they drop a big bag early, like, 5, 10K, and then they never add any new dollars to the system because why? They're hyper compounding for a cheap 50-cent gas fee on a daily basis, right? That hyper compounding is rampant. Everybody's doing it. And if everybody's hyper compounding on a daily basis, where's the money coming from to pay people out these, huge bags? And that's number two thing that kills all these ROI dApps. Serial claiming, right? Claim sell, claim sell, claim sell, claim sell. That's why the prices go down. This is what futures does that completely kills those two things easily. Number one, you cannot hyper compound on this. So what do you read right here? Papa Stonk that says deposit 200 BUSD. What that means is it requires a minimum deposit of 200 BUSD to even start your futures account, right? And because there is no compound button on futures, you cannot compound in the traditional sense, right? There's no 50-cent gas fee, but you can compound. You can. And how do you do it though? You have to make another fresh deposit. Oh, I have to add new money. What's the minimum deposit again? Oh, 200 BUSD. So right now, if I were to add 200 BUSD, my 37.1 will go up to 37.3 thousand, right? My 200 gets captured here, and my available rewards then get rolled into my value. So you can compound, but you could probably do what Papa Stonks. You could probably throw 200 into this every single day and compound every day, but the average Joe Schmo can't. right? So most people are just throwing in like
Yeah.
once a week. Yeah.
No,
Once.
100%. And so yeah, so when you do deposit that $200, it auto compounds your rewards.
Yes, exactly. That is the only way to compound. Yep.
And you know, without are people able to harvest those, those BUSD rewards um, without compounding? So they can harvest those rewards and then turn around and put their $200 in from those rewards.
Well, yes and no. And let me refresh this page because I really want it to work. I don't. Okay. Oh, there's my dashboard. Okay. So I'm gonna unlock my ledger here. But you see how the last transaction I did was 5 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. All right. So I'm actually going to do this right here. So yes, to answer your question, I can harvest my available rewards right here. This 932, I can claim that. But this is, I said the two things that kill the ROI daps, hyper compounding. So I just killed that with what I explained. And then the second thing is serial claiming. This protocol makes you think twice about claiming, because if I were to claim, remember, my balance will deduct this 932, right? So 37 minus 900 will be 36,000 some odd. And then I'm earning 0.5% a day on a smaller balance. And if I took out $932, right, and this goes down, yeah, I could put that right back in, but it's just a wash. I could pull out 932, it subtract, and then I put right back in 932, and then I'm just right back where I was, right? It's a
yeah.
You get it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I
so
see
that's
that
what's
you
happening.
have. I mean, you have actually, pulled some out. You have pulled some out because you've got your total deposits at 24.7K. You've got your claimed amount at 15.9. So you add those two together, you're
Well,
still above your total balance.
technically, so it's just like drip. Remember when you claim out of, I'm sorry, when you compound in drip, it actually pulls your rewards, and when you compound, it does count as a claim and then goes into your balance. So actually, this 16,000 quote unquote claimed, none of this has actually hit my wallet. This is all compounded in, essentially. Yeah. So yeah. So that claimed amount, that's just different. Now, if I were to just hit claim, then yes, this number would go up and then this number would go down. But I'm actually going to show you a compound. So I want you guys to see this in real time. Okay. I'm going to hit deposit. And right now I have 202 BUSD right there that I'm going to throw in real quick. I'm going to throw this in real quick.
I heard the ding, sir. You just sent that in there just to do this.
That is right. All right, so take a look. Deposit. You're going to see this in real time. This will go up my 200 deposit and plus 900. So let's watch. Boom. Okay. Well, my Zoom messed it up, but you can see the number went.
Total value goes up to 38.
Right. And my claim number went up too. Remember this said like 15,000 or something a second ago, and yeah, now it's that. So now I'm earning 0.5% a day on a larger balance. So this kills the hyper compound. You can't do that unless you put in 200, and you just pick a schedule that works for you. Start out with a nice chunk, throw in 10K if you want, and then stick to a schedule that works. 200 a week, 200 a month, 200 every 2 months, whatever schedule you can throw 200 at, roll in and compound your rewards. Yeah.
I like your idea of 200 a day.
Yeah, I know you can do that. Heavy bags, not me. Nah, I'm kidding. But eventually you get to a point where what you claim out, you can just kind of pocket some of it enough and use that as your own compounds. But I'll actually give you a quick example. So, the reason why this is sustainable is because this is built on top of Bertha. right? All those other ROI dApps, they're just pure money, like Ponzi-nomics. Like money comes in, it goes into a pot, and that pot doesn't appreciate in price. It just sits there until someone claims it, right? This is completely different. So I want you to see if you can marry up these numbers, but look at this total deposited number. Since futures came out in end of January, almost $11 million has come into the ecosystem.
But the TVL is 14.7.
Right. TVL. And TVL, this is from people compounding. Dude, like off of 2,000 participants, we got some big users.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. You know, you got 10.8 deposited, but TVL is 14.7. You know, that's
not chump change.
No, that's.
But here's the cool part. So you understand, okay, $11 million has come into this quote unquote Ponzi. All ROI dApps fail, Papa Stonks. All of them fail. All of them. How come futures hasn't yet? Well, let me show you why. Check this out. So on the Elephant Treasury, on the day futures came out, and let's look back at this image here. You see the futures launch, right?
Yep.
On this day, Bertha had 101 trillion tokens in her bag, and she was valued at $9 million. Remember these numbers, okay? $9 million valuation in Bertha. Now, today she has 52 million. So let's do some math and how this multiplicative effect actually came into helping. So check this out. Bertha was valued at $9 million 6 months ago. The protocol has $11 million that has come in. So what's $11 million plus 9?
20.
It should just be 20 million, right? It's 20. So if $20 million, if $11 million came in on top of 9 million, that should say 20. Yet, well, how does the Elephant Treasury have 52 million? See that?
Well, simple answer is the token price appreciation. The token price of the market cap was only at like less than 100 million then, and it's at 300 million now.
Yes, it's going up. And why is it going up? Because of supply shock, the scarcity. Yes. It's everything that we've already talked about for the last hour. The scarcity, the supply, demand. Bertha is getting so large. And look at when futures came out. You can actually see the uptick in yellow. You see how the yellow started to grow faster and faster? So her token count's going up faster, but the value goes up even faster. And this primarily was driven by futures growth. This isn't really so much people just buying the token. This is the economic energy being harnessed and captured by Bertha. So that's why this is automatically more sustainable than everything, because $11 million came into futures and Bertha turned $11 million into $40 million because there was already 9 million to begin with. Remember that? So that multiplicative effect that I just talked about right here, remember this? $100 comes in, yet Bertha turns it into, she 5X's it. And then she just keeps getting faster with that multiplication. You see that 5X, 7X, 14X, 25X. That multiplicative effect is the game changer on why this protocol is going to outlive all the others. So that's why futures is dope. Now, now that you guys understand futures, I'm just going to run one example for you. I'm currently in build mode. So what I want to do is I actually don't want to claim from this until I have 100,000 BUSD. Okay. So what does that look like? When I build this, and I don't know my timeline, I don't really care. I just know it works. Let's just say it's 6 months from now. 6 months from today, my 38,000 will become 100,000. And then at that point, guys, I am going to switch to a 3-to-1 claim compound schedule. So meaning 3-to-1 compound to claim. So 3 weeks out of a month, I'm going to compound. 1 week out of a month, I'm going to claim. So what happens when this says 100K? I'm going to pull up a little calculator here. But if I have 100K and I'm earning 0.5% a day on that, that's $500 a day. You follow me? And I'm going to claim out 1 week. So 7 days in a week, that means 3,500 BUSD is what I'm going to take out. Now, 100,000 BUSD minus what I claimed out. Remember, because claims deduct. Now I'm left with a bag of 96,500, right? Okay. Yeah. So 96,500 is now earning not 500 a day, but something smaller, 482 a day. But I'm going to let this build up for 3 weeks. So this times 21 days, that's $10,000. And now I'm going to compound it by injecting $200. So when I compound 10,000 on top of my 96,500, I now have a larger balance of 106,500. You see that, right? Now I'm going to repeat my 3 to 1. So now I'm earning 0.5% at $533 a day, not 500. This time 7 days, I'm taking out 3,700. So what did I just do? Guys, when I hit $100,000 in this and I switched to a 3 to 1, now I just established a monthly income of $3,500 the first month, $3,700 the second month, and then it just keeps going up. The next month will be $3,900, $4,300, $4,800.
Deduct 200 from each of those numbers, because each time you need to, in order to compound, you need
200, correct?
Another
correct.
200. So you take 200 off of that 37, you're back to 35. But
correct.
The next time, you are compounding so much more that it's going to go up each time. It's just going to keep going up and up and up.
Correct.
The amount that you can actually harvest.
Yep. Yeah, you're exactly right. So my first month, essentially, you're right. Instead of 35, it'd be 33. But then the next month is 35, true harvest. Yep. The next month is 39 or 38, true harvest. But it just keeps going up. And that's the beautiful thing. And it's just like I showed you right here. Okay. This is the same exact image as this. Okay. And this is back when Bertha was only 144 trillion tokens. Remember that? All right. So she's going up in size and value. Your 518,000 gave her 2.5 trillion tokens, but then by the time she owes that back to you, she only sells less tokens, like 500 billion, something like that. So yeah, that's futures. And I don't know if we've run out of time or if you want to do something, but the last thing, guys, is just these NFTs.
Keep going, man.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So, we talked about futures. Hopefully for the ROI DApp lovers, you found some value in that. Okay. This is an ROI DApp that has already in 6 months 4x'd its own value, its treasury. And it's only going to get larger from there. When we talk 12 months from today, like if Bertha today can pay out the debt of futures 4 times over today, I bet you a year from today, she can pay it out 50 times over. Her asset growth is always faster than the debt and liabilities. So just point.
Just for everybody here, for the futures, you don't even need to be an elephant holder to actually utilize this ROI DApp. You can just deposit 200 BUSD and let it grow.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So, switching gears, the NFTs. This is the quickest analogy for you guys. Is you should think of this like real estate. As if you were buying a plot of land in New York City 2 decades ago, right? And you built some apartments on that land. So check this out. The land that you bought, the NFT that you bought, the floor price is always going to go up. So your real estate value in New York City you would hope, is always going to go up. And you are collecting rent on your rental property in New York. And the NFTs are paying you rent in the form of elephant token. So you can come through and you can buy these NFTs. The first round is actually already over, but there are 10,000 mints per round. And every 10,000 mints, the price doubles. So what do I mean by that? Right now, the mint price is 2 BNB. That's because we just finished round 1. In 30 days, we basically sold 10,000 NFTs. Each of those costed 1 BNB a pop. So 10,000 BNB have come into this protocol, in 30 days. And now we're in round 2. So the mint price doubled. And once we get through all 10,000 of these, round 3 will start. Mint price will double again. It'll be 4 BNB. Okay? So round 1 was 1 BNB. Now it's 2 BNB. Next will be 4 BNB, 8 BNB, 16, 32, 64 BNB, then 128 BNB per NFT each round. Okay? And the APR is determined by Bertha. So we already talked about how Bertha in red, she's continually climbing in size. Well, she has a 1% APR that comes out of her, and then just divided by how many NFTs are staked. And she's just perpetually paying out the NFT staking rewards in elephant token. So if you buy these NFTs, you stake them, you will earn elephant token as reward. So you can actually see right now, currently I have $25 right there, but let me see. Yeah. So total rewards, I've thrown in 30 BNB on this, but total, I have earned 245 BUSD worth of elephant token. But remember this, guys. Remember, elephant token is an appreciating asset, right? So what happens if this just froze in time and I didn't earn any more rewards from the NFTs? What happens when elephant token 10x's? What does this 245 do? It also 10x's. Yes. So these are incredibly undervalued right now, even at 2 BNB. These will double in price. And actually, remember, I put in 30 BNB and I bought all of mine at 1 BNB. And I just witnessed last week my NFT value doubled. So it said $6,500 because that's how much I put in. But now because the floor price went up, I can go to the marketplace and I can sell it for now double in price. They're 2 BNB a pop. And then pretty soon this will double again and then double again. So these are great. These are great. These are utility NFTs that perpetually earn you elephant token rewards. So that is that. If you are lucky and you mint a black NFT, those are the rarest ones. I don't know if I have one right now to show. But yeah, there's a 6% chance of getting a black NFT, basically. And you can see each of these different colors. They have a rarity score. So later on, that might come into play for your resale value. But yeah, you just want to mint as many of these as you can and hopefully land a rare black NFT because they will get you into future Elephant Money convention access. So how there's like Bitcoin conventions and all that stuff? Well, trust me, brother, like we're already a top 100 crypto. You best believe when we're a top 20 crypto and we're a multi-billion-dollar market cap token, we will be having Elephant Money conventions. That is how big this protocol will be. And if you have a black NFT, you will get free admission. So
how many colors are there? How many, I guess we call them traits?
Yeah, I think there's over like 300. There's over 300 colors and there's different hues of it. Like you'll get a dark blue versus a light blue, or some of them have a, HSL here. I don't even know what that stands for, but I think the L stands for luminosity. So some of them have a stronger shine to them versus others. So yeah, there's so many combinations.
With the different colors, I mean, if only the black ones get you into the conventions,
Correct.
What kind of perks do you get from any of the other ones? Obviously some of them have more rarities, but they all have the same the same ROI. So
Yes, exactly.
what would be the perks of even having a blue one over a red one, or a robin's egg over a green one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's a black. I do have one. The answer to that is nothing. Just vanity. Maybe some people, their favorite color is red and they want every shade of red. So they'll probably put, oh man, I've got all these yellows and greens. I want to put those on the market to sell them. And I'm going to go try to buy as many reds as I can. I think it's just vanity, really. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was just looking at this. The robin's eggs have a 0.3% rarity, and the blacks are 0.6, but they actually have added benefits to them. So
Yeah.
like the Granny Smith blue violet 0.277. That's pretty freaking rare.
Yep. I don't know. Actually, these are so new. I haven't even digested these.
Yeah. So, for people that are, listening, if just buying the NFTs, I guess you wouldn't really worry about the rarity score on them, unless at some point there will be something else implemented into that. Because if they all could, hold the same, ROI, staking them, and only the black ones will get you, admittance into the conventions, then, I guess I would just ignore the rarities, just buy whatever color you like.
Yep. And then also too, really the value proposition for the NFTs are the fact that you're going to be earning a lot of elephant token from these. So you see a current APR of like 24, but so remember the APR comes from the 1% coming out of Bertha that feeds the NFT rewards divided by the amount of staked NFTs. Now check this out. Remember this. Bertha is engineered and always goes up. Bertha always climbs in size and value, right? Like that's already evident right here. That's just how it's designed. It's also evident with the chart that I showed you right here. The red always goes up. That is by design. Now, the NFTs, however, remember how I said each round the price doubles? So eventually you're going to get to a point where the NFT sales slow down. Like maybe when this costs 64 BNB a pop, and if BNB at the time's $1,000 per BNB coin, right? That's $64,000 someone's going to have to pay for one NFT. Obviously, the sales of NFTs will slow down, meaning the amount of staked NFTs will slow down, meaning this APR will go up. Because Bertha continually goes up and she's paying a larger and larger amount of tokens year after year after year, she continually goes up, but the staked amount of NFTs will slow down at some point, meaning this APR will actually reverse and it will go up, and each NFT will be earning huge loads of highly valued elephant token. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here reading this question in chat, trying to make sense of it.
Oh no, you're good. Let's go to questions. Actually, I'm done.
Completely
we talked about
lost. All right, so
let's go.
I'm
Let's go to
I'm going to read the question, and to be honest with you, man, it makes zero sense to me. But if you can make sense of this, can elephant money be used on social media platforms? I wonder if elephant money support multiple chat rooms, and can users have cross access to cross chat rooms even if they have no identity at all? So none of that has anything to do with elephant money. So that's why I'm saying, like, it made zero sense to me.
That sounds like it's a question that is made for a different protocol, and they just swapped out the name to elephant money. Yeah, that has no relevancy here.
Exactly what it is, and
come on, y'all gotta get more creative than that. Oh,
right.
No, you're good, but I'm open to voice questions however you want to do this, brother. Yes. But we covered everything.
All right, guys. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, come on up and you can ask in chat. I just banned the copy paste question in the chat, so you guys already know my rules. I don't deal with copy paste questions, and that's why I was like,
Hey,
what is this?
rules with an iron fist. I dig it. All right. Wow. Yeah. No questions.
Yeah,
Did I do that good a
zero.
job?
I mean, you did a great job, man. You definitely, I think you definitely explained it pretty well. Um, I know, people will have questions. How do you want to utilize social media to market this? That's a pretty general question that somebody might ask. Um, some people are going to ask, do you plan on going, cross chain?
No.
And I know the answer to that. Yeah, I already know the answer to that. That's why I didn't ask. Um, because no, do not plan on going cross chain to dilute anything from this token.
Yeah.
That's
Bingo. Yeah.
that's from
You
that's
want.
that's out of bank teller's mouth himself.
Yeah. You heard that other AMA. Perfect. Yep. Yep.
Well, I've
Yep.
heard a few, but
Yeah,
um,
man.
yeah, I was actually pretty surprised when you weren't doing that AMA the other day.
No, he.
Like,
No, I've actually. Fun fact. I got a follow up that I'll be able to do in there. The reason BT took that one is because he was allowing me to have quote unquote daddy time. 2 weeks ago, I just had my
yeah,
first baby ever. Yeah.
yes, and sorry guys, we can blame SK and his wife for deciding to have a baby a couple weeks ago, or everybody here would have been able to get those NFTs at one BNB still.
Oh, I know, man, dude. And even looking
So
at this
this,
chart, what was it 2 weeks ago? Oh man, I mean,
oh,
y'all could have been.
it was still
Mm-hmm.
like 220, I think.
Oh, 220, and now we're already 100 higher than that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, that's I mean, I have been talking about it in chat as well, but yeah, I mean, I first started talking about it in MMKK at around 100 million. Me and DS were talking about it in VC.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. No, DS is my boy, man. I remember the day. So I know DS's boss, and he called me, and that's how he actually got introduced into crypto. He's like, "Whoa, what is this thing you're talking about? SK, nice to meet you." Blah blah blah, and I helped onboard him, and I've got screenshots where I was helping him, like, "Yeah, do this exchange, yeah, crypto.com, this." And I helped homeboy. Yeah, yeah, that's my dude.
The first one to get him into DeFi. Now he's got one of the
He's
biggest,
CEO. Yeah,
the best
Ultimo
off
and everything.
ramps. The
Yep.
best off ramps for crypto is crazy.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, there's a question right there. Is do you guys plan on having, some kind of partnership with Ultimo?
Um, I mean, I don't think anything's on the books right now. I don't. That's more of a BT question. However, I know fundamentally BT does not like partnerships during this time because we aren't out of the woods yet, right? I
Right.
think once we are back up to all-time high and also probably 5 or 10x above that, that's when we're post recovery fully, and he'll start partnering with people. Yep. But yeah, good question. I think in the future, yes, but right now, nothing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was just thinking, I think it would be kind of a great partnership to have for people to be able to off ramp some of those, rewards from the futures, from the ROI dab. Um,
Oh yeah,
they can just off ramp that BUSD straight to their custom elephant money card that's going through Ultimo, and pay their bills.
yeah, yep. I
That's a
agree. I think that would be sweet.
Huge problem, a lot of people have is being able to off ramp. So
Yeah. And for anyone who happens to be familiar with Trunk, I'm not going to go into great detail on this, but just understand one thing. Right now, Trunk price is currently right here at basically 15 cents, and this will peg back at $1. But that does not happen until after the elephant token supply shocks. So remember, like when the elephant treasury, this is comprised of elephant tokens. So when elephant token 10x's, what happens to this? What happens to the elephant treasury value right here? What happens to that 52 million out of 10x? You know what I mean? This will be $525 million. Okay. And on a daily basis, there is money coming out of Bertha that buys Trunk token, and it's just not big enough to really put this back at $1. But after this 10x is in value, then you're talking about major loads of money buying Trunk that will outweigh the sell pressure, and this will go back and stay back at $1. So yeah, fun fact.
And so we really didn't get into Trunk too much.
No, I don't want to. It's really not the focus, but I'm sure some people might have large Stampede bags or something, and they just are wondering. But yeah, you could load up on a bunch of Trunk right now if you wanted to, and you will 6x that Trunk when it goes back to $1.
When it
but
repegs,
yeah, but why 6x on Trunk when you can buy elephant token and 50, 500x, whatever? So,
but real quick, you want to touch on what the utility of Trunk is. Obviously, it's stable. It's supposed to be a stable coin, which has been depegged, but will repeg eventually. So what?
Yeah. Basically, Trunk token is a sister token to Elephant, and after Elephant, 10 and 20x's, and then brings Trunk along back to peg. There are 3 different places you can put that Trunk token. Basically, you've got Stampede, which is the most familiar. Everyone knows Stampede. Stampede now operates identically to futures. So we talked about futures. You earn 0.5% a day, and you need 200 BUSD to put in. Stampede's the same exact way, except you use 200 Trunk, and you earn up to 0.5% a day because it's a peg adjusted rate. So when Trunk is back at peg, you will be earning 0.5% a day on Trunk. It will require 200 Trunk to do your thing. And there's also a Raffle tied in with Stampede. So that's kind of cool. Another place you can put your Trunk is also farms. These are actually really cool. And this is kind of its own 10-minute segment that I don't want to do right now. But the farms are, they're great because you can pair your blue chips like BTC Binance or Ethereum on Binance, pair it with your Trunk token, and then you'll just earn perpetual Trunk yield. But these farms are special because there's no in and out deposit or withdrawal tax on them. There's no time locks on them, and there's zero impermanent loss on them. You're technically, when you pair your Trunk, quote unquote, with Bitcoin, you're not creating an LP pair. You're more or less single staking them simultaneously. And yeah, so when you put in 1 Bitcoin, there's no impermanent loss. You can come back 10 years later and literally pull out the same 1 Bitcoin. So these farms are actually very innovative in a cool way too. And then Trumpet. Trumpet is an always up token. You put it's basically Trunk staking. You put your Trunk into Trumpet, and the Trumpet price will multiply. So if you put in 10,000 Trunk tokens today, and then Trumpet does a 10x on its price, well, your 10,000 Trunk tokens you put in will also 10x, so you will pull out 100,000. So actually, that's kind of cool too. If you think about this, Papa Stonks, for $1,500 today, you can buy 10,000 Trunk tokens, right? And you can put them into Trumpet, wait for Trumpet to 10x, and pull out 100,000 Trunk tokens, which will be pegged. So essentially, you turn $1,500 into $100,000, within a year or two. Yeah. So this is actually this is a major sleeper hit, but this is for the hardcore. I think really everyone needs to focus on, the elephant token futures.
I would say focus on the elephant token, the futures, the NFTs. But if you want to dive further into the ecosystem, Trunk is, like you said, should be almost a guaranteed 6x
Yep.
when it repegs. And you can do other things with that. You can put that trunk into Trumpet. You can put it into Stampede, which is the same thing as futures. You can pair it. And I think the first time I heard about all of this was through Kirk.
Speakeasy. Kirk, yeah.
Yes, that's actually
dude.
the first time I heard about elephant money was through Kirk.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Dude, that's so cool because like the motto at Elephant is each one teach one. And I taught Kirk about Elephant. I remember him, he was speaking to me about Speakeasy. And then I remember him saying something like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put a bunch of it into EMP. And I'm like,
he did. And he got wrecked.
Sure. And he got wrecked. And I told him like, hey man, you might want to spread your risk. Let me teach you about Elephant. And I remember we had like hours long conversation. And when I was done teaching him about Elephant, he was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I need to diversify this protocol into that, blah, blah, blah. And he did. Unfortunately, the Speakeasy Ponzi model didn't last long enough for the supply shock of Elephant to kick in to save it. But that's so cool that vicariously or like through him, you found Elephant and he found Elephant because of me. So like we're all connected, dude. So it's so cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we had, I've had a few AMAs with Kirk, and yeah, I loved what he was doing over there. And I thought, everything would be great. But that is how I first heard about Elephant is through that, and him talking about that. So
no, that's awesome. Yeah, still a good friend, but unfortunately, that's like a true Ponzi-nomic model that just didn't last the test of time. Whereas, now we know with Elephant and Bertha, it totally dispels the whole Ponzi aspect. Like no one can, like, I think that's the number one thing people try to level at Elephant, and they'll say something like, oh yeah, where's your external revenue? Oh, where's your trading bot? And where's your blah, blah, blah? It's like, yeah, how well is that really working on your trash protocols? You tell me one trading bot one that actually lasted, right? Like, it's not always about external revenue. It's more so about the tokenomics being properly done with deep liquidity, good community, all of that. And Elephant checks all of those boxes. But even to the people that are worried about external revenue, just know this. After Trunk pegs and after Bertha, at $50 million today is valued at like billions of dollars in her own treasury value, just know that BT's already committed that when we are post-recovery, Bertha will open up her pocketbook and she will invest into yield generating farms and DeFi protocols. She will invest in DeFi and to bring those profits home. So the external revenue, it's coming. It's just right now we don't even need it. It don't even need it.
Right. So, it's not needed. And if everything can be done internally while that pot builds and Bertha gets fatter and fatter, she's Big Bertha for a fucking reason. So, let her eat, let her feed and let her get fat, and then she can start, diversifying some of those fat rolls into other things and get fatter.
Nope, that's the whole goal. And I see a good friend pop into the AMA here, Mystic Crypto. I don't know if he's able to speak. Yeah, he is like hater number one on Elephant. Yeah, he hates Elephant. Mystic Crypto. Why don't you tell him how much you hate Elephant? He probably can't speak. It's
Mitch
funny.
might not be able to talk right now.
That's okay. No, he loves elephant guys. I was just kidding. So.
Yeah, no, I know.
But anyway, yeah. Any other questions from people? Voice, don't be shy.
I think everybody's a little stunned. Normally, we do have some people come up and ask questions, but I think everybody's a little shocked now. They don't even know what to say.
Hey guys, well, I would ask a question, but I already know everything about Elephant, and I've already asked all my questions. But it's a great project. That's all. That's what I have to say.
Thanks, brother.
There
I've been following
he is.
it all the time.
Yeah. Mist and I go back at least 2 years, man. He was one of the first places I did an AMA for Elephant Money back when I think market cap was, what was it, Mist? Like $9 million market cap at that time. And here we are over 300.
Yeah, 9
Yeah.
That's when I first got in, was back at that AMA, 9 million. And I sort of, at the time, I thought, well, who knows how this thing's going to go? Like, sounds all right. Like, I pretty much what I thought was that BT just sounded like a really smart guy. And the way he was explaining everything and talking about everything, it was almost over my head. And I was just like, well, he sounds pretty smart. Maybe I'll just leave this and I'll buy some and just leave it in here and see what happens in a year or whatever. And I just sort of left it. And and then, like, boom, then all of a sudden it was like up to like 300-400 million market cap. I was like, oh my gosh. Well,
yeah, lucky,
that was
lucky
good.
bastard.
But I did follow it as well.
No, actually, I was talking to Mist, and he said he had got in at 9 million, and I'm like, well, shit, I must have got in around 10 million, but no, add a zero to that, it was around 100.
100 million, yeah. No, it's okay, guys, and just know that it truly is early. Yeah.
Even though Chris was DMing me constantly, and he told me about the dip and everything, and I didn't see the DMs for
Chris Dugan?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my dude. Yeah.
I didn't see the DMs for like 2 weeks, and I finally saw them, and yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I've worked with Chris. I know him really, really well. But yeah, that was a great aspect. And just talk about being early, like, guys, I mean, I know Mist got in at like, the pouring of the foundation, but we're still at the ground floor. And here's another nice graphic to look at on the screen. But this Bitcoin symbol, we know that Elephant has 1,000 trillion in supply. But just for fun, if you change that to 21 million like Bitcoin, this is the equivalent price of Bitcoin. This is actually what Elephant token is today. It is less than a $15 Bitcoin equivalent. And what did Bitcoin do? Who would not go back in time and buy a $15 Bitcoin? You know what I mean? That's Elephant. And Elephant does a better job at store of value and value capture than Bitcoin. So this is, you're looking at a top 10 protocol, in my opinion, in the coming, year or two. Like, this is
and what's crazy, guys, is it's 1 quadrillion. So that means this has the same supply that Squid Grow does. But the market cap and the price of the token, just because of the 50% that is held and Bertha continuing to grow and grow, the supply is just diminishing every day.
Yep. No, it's amazing.
I do actually have a question, actually, now that I think back on it. Listening to one of the other AMAs, I think it was the MMKK one of the others, BT mentioned in it that, and I don't know if I misheard this or misunderstood it or what, but he said something along the lines of, if we get 60 million more dollars of positive investment into Elephant Money, 60 million, then the price would 100x. And I didn't sure if I understood that correctly. I don't know, how does that equate to $60 million of a positive investment equal to 100x? Wouldn't it not be that many x's?
Right. No, that's a really good question. I heard that too when I caught the aftermath. And I haven't run the numbers personally, but what he's speaking from is the same concept as what we reviewed kind of right here. because when $60 million of positive buy pressure comes into the ecosystem, it all really truly gets captured by Bertha. And because Bertha is continually going up in size, what happens is she's taking $60 million and she has this multiplicative effect on that. You see this here? And when that money comes in and being hodled by Bertha, that's what he's talking about here. Because, again, on this math, even just I wish I need to go find this spreadsheet. But if I made this $100 at the top, 60 million, and then it shows how the price appreciation happens, from current price to new price, and then spread that out across Bertha's, 168 trillion tokens. Here, this is $100 turned into $500, but 60 million going into this increases the multiplier effect. Remember, also, instead of a 5x, would be 7, 9, 14, 25x. But all of that gets captured in the protocol. So yes, what he's saying, I believe, is true, because the 60 million will get multiplied by Bertha and will 100x this token even from today. And here's actually a fun fact as well. But this elephant token, even from the lowest low that it ever had back in, it was like right here, June of 2021, we're actually more than 70x already just from that. Okay. And if you think of this as truly an early Bitcoin, we're talking thousands of X potential, but I don't go around saying that. But even if we 1000x from the bottom here, and we're only 70x right now, if we 1000x from the bottom, bro, we will 100x from today's price. Matter of fact, I think we will be 500x. The possibilities here are limitless, and the math and the value capture is truly genius. I would not be surprised, if we 500, 1000x, or multiple 1000x from even today.
Yeah. Just to explain it in kind of layman's terms for people is, it is the token ratio to liquidity pair. So, if you put $200 in, you're actually going to have, like a 5x. It's going to go up in price more than $200. So that's just because of the ratio, the token to LP, the token to BNB or BUSD pairing. Now, with that said, can everybody pull out that much? No, not everybody. You're going to have your wallet value is going to go up, but not every single person can pull that out. Yes, one person can get 100x off of a $60 million investment. The next person's going to get a 58x or something like that.
Correct. Yep.
And that's just how all tokens work.
And on top of that, too, remember, even when you sell, there's no sell shaming at Elephant. When you profit take, by all means, do it, But just know that Bertha gets her cut. Remember, on the sell tax, Bertha gets her cut. And look at this chart. Because she gets bigger, when she actually gets her cut, you're actually, by you selling, you are fueling the supply shock even more. That's the cool part about Elephant. The chart can't die from people just simply selling. You're actually just spreading it. Mm-hmm.
And, just the payouts, the amount coming into Bertha versus the payout percentage, which is 1%, going to NFT holders, the token amount is steadily just increasing. It's not decreasing, even though there is payouts, but it's still not decreasing just because of the token amount going into Bertha.
Yep. That's exactly right. No, thank you for adding that, Papa Stonks, because, we talked about the flippening. Actually, I didn't even say that term, but when this red and the blue crossed, we call that the flippening. And when you look at that chart that I just showed here, the pie chart, like Bertha grew and flipped the size of the LPs. There actually will be another flippening that occurs when Bertha gets so big. She'll actually be larger than the participants. She's going to keep climbing, and people are going to profit take, and they're going to shrink the participant count. She's going to get bigger, and that will be technically the next flippening that occurs, and that is just going to be crazy. One other aspect too, I'm sure people's eyes are already glazed over, but this is the last parabolic run that we had before the exploit, and I want to focus on this really big red candle right here. This was the graveyard rebalance. So we talk about this graveyard always having 50%, but just know that through the reflections, she slowly grows to 51% of the entire supply, and then she rebalances back to 50%. And the difference in tokens from 50 to 51 is 10 trillion tokens, which when the rebalance occurs, she actually sells half of the 10 trillion tokens. She'll dump 5 trillion on the chart, just like was witnessed right here. And then she pairs that BNB she dumped with the remaining 5 trillion tokens and then locks it into the liquidity. So the rebalancing in the graveyard is actually a liquidity strengthening event, which is really cool. And that's something to look forward to, because when this chart is going up, Papa, like I know you didn't get to experience this first parabolic run, but when the rebalance happens, you are going to be itching. You're going to grab as much BNB as you can, because the chart never dips, and this will be the only dip you can possibly catch.
You can literally sit there and watch BSC scan and wait for that to hit that 51% and catch that dip. You'll know when that dip is coming. Everybody's going to know when that dip is coming. So you got to be pretty freaking quick.
Yeah, because these are 4-hour candles. I think this got ate up in one day. Yeah. Anyway.
No, actually, I remember when that happens, but you got to be pretty quick to catch that dip. But that is a dip that you will be able to catch. You will be able to add DCA on that dip.
Yep. Any other questions from any of the people?
I think I can just go look on the website, but what's the percentage for the rebalancing at the moment?
I think it's 50.5%. I got the holder count right here. Yeah. This is the elephant holder count, and number 1 is the graveyard. She has 505. So basically 50.5% on her way to 51%. Yeah.
Got it. Now, Bank Teller has been releasing a lot of cool stuff lately, when it comes to both. I remember when futures came out, and now there's the NFTs that are unlimited and going to keep going and continue to build, support the system. Is there anything else that he's got planned, or is that sort of, now it's end game, as he likes to say sometimes? Like, is that it, or is there going to be more products or more different things made?
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't see this as an end game yet. I don't see him stopping here, but that's just my personal opinion.
Right. Yeah. I think that, there's nothing on the horizon. But then again, if you asked me that 6 months ago, I would have said no. And then lo and behold, we came out with NFTs. It's just like the guy loves to build, right? And I think if he does come out with anything new, I wouldn't know what that would be, but he'll design it in such a way that he can renounce it and make it immutable pretty quickly. Like right now, he just came out with the marketplace on the NFTs. In his mind, he's done with the NFTs. So I bet you within a couple of weeks, he will just completely renounce his keys to the NFTs and marketplace, because it's a complete product. If anything else comes out, I think nothing else will come out, but then again, BT's BT.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You never know what's coming.
Yeah.
But for now, it's, there is plenty there, as far as what is already out and, fueling this ecosystem. There is a lot there,
Oh,
that we didn't even really, dive all the way into.
we didn't even cover.
We didn't even get into, we touched on it a little bit. We touched on Trunk. We touched on Trumpet,
There is
Stampede,
one thing.
Farms.
Yeah. I think you reminded me, when it comes to Stampede and stuff, this isn't a new product he's going to build, but to answer your question, Mist, he is going to make Stampede. He said something to the effect of futures Stampede becoming NFT based, in the sense that, say for example, you max out your futures or your Stampede and you want to continue using your same wallet, right? You don't want to go create a new futures or a new Stampede and make a new wallet address, right? I think he's going to, within a couple months, make them NFT based. So when you finish an account, you can actually relinquish it and then, start a new one using your same wallet address. So I do think he's confirmed that's coming.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think he mentioned something about that. One other thing I was wondering about is, obviously if Elephant does get properly listed and categorized on CMC, for example, and CoinGecko and whichever, it will put Elephant at the moment, I think, on the first page, maybe in the top 50, at least the top 100, for sure.
Top 100
at the moment.
Yes.
Top 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
In market cap, right? So if that were to occur, I would think it would be a huge boost to exposure. A lot more people would see it when they're just browsing through the tokens on CoinMarketCap, so on and so forth. So that would be pretty good. But what is stopping it? I'm sure this has been answered and gone over so many times before, but do you know why it's not coming up properly? And yeah.
No, that's a really good question. It mainly has something to do with those two major sites, CoinGecko and MarketCap, not reporting the circulating supply accurately. For example, CoinGecko is having an issue with the idea of the graveyard, right? As I taught, the graveyard is a smart contract that rebalances when it hits 51%, and it holds 50% of the supply. But I think CoinGecko is not counting it as part of the circulating supply or something to that effect. And I think it's
They are counting it. They are counting it.
They are counting it. Okay, I got that backwards.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's messing up the numbers, and then as he speaks to them, he's also kind of learning that, well, they are more like central exchange based or biased, and because Elephant Token, in BT's words, will never exist on a central exchange, because then you can't, have value capture, right? That 10% in and out tax is vital for Bertha's growth. And CoinGecko, they don't like that. They like centralized exchange tokens with taxless tokenomics. Yeah.
I will say there are some centralized exchanges that you can actually get the tokenomics in there. You can get that value capture. Like Bitmart will work with you, and they will do, the tokenomics. As far as that goes.
And I'm sure BT would be open to that. Yep.
There are some exchanges that will actually do it. So that is probably a good combo to have, with him and the exchanges, because, anybody that is able to, get Elephant money on a centralized exchange, it just widens the investor base and broadens the exposure of the token itself, of the whole ecosystem. Obviously, they're going to need to move, stuff off of the exchange to be able to utilize some stuff, but it is.
I think last point that I'll mention on that too is, until CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap accurately report us, I honestly, if I were you guys, I would bask in this opportunity of us still being underground. This is only an opportunity for us to get cheaper elephant token for longer before the inevitable happens. I've been saying this for years to Miss, and I'm like, always throwing in the non-financial advice, but everything that's happening now is the inevitability I've been telling for years. And so Rebel, or bask in this glory while we're still underground, because it won't last forever. And take advantage of the opportunity.
No, 100%. And I will say, CMC and CG, you used to get a pump from listing on those, but this is one token that I promise will get a huge pump from listing on those sites just because of that. Like, this is this is a whole separate entity that the liquidity and the it's unreal. So if these get listed on CMC and CG, you will never see these prices again. I promise that.
Yeah, non-financial advice, but yes.
Fuck it, that's fully financial advice.
Yes.
That is 100% financial advice from me. You will never, if these get listed on CMC and CG, after all that gets fixed, you will never see these prices again.
Holy hot damn, son.
I love it.
I love those voice changes that you do, man. That's, good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
What's your ego? So it sounds like one of the best missions, perhaps, that we could focus on, or that we could try to achieve now, is actually identifying and getting in touch with these exchanges that do work with tokenomics and do support DeFi projects in that sense. And maybe, getting on these sort of things like, say, Bitmart or some other ones that could be good. It's going to bring a lot more exposure as well through people who prefer to buy through exchanges or whatever else. So maybe we could try to get onto that,
Yeah. No, I'm happy that turn left, Miss. Don't forget. But no, I think that's what's really cool. Yeah. I'm happy the elephant hit you guys' orbit, because I know you guys are well connected, and through the grapevine, eventually we're going to find people well connected enough to be like, yo, I got a contact at CG. Let me call them, or CMC. And this will all come. It's inevitable.
Yeah, I think, well, like you said, it is that hiccup with the rebalance of the graveyard. So that's why that's why it's still included in the circulating supply. So if this was to list on CG right now, they would count that 50.5% in the circulating supply, and it would show the market cap at like 150 million instead.
Yeah.
So that is the issue. ABD did have one question. He said, when I clicked on the website, found the page. What? Found out
about the airdrop.
Connect wallet, and under the button there are airdrops. Can you state the eligibility for the drop? And
they're probably talking about the partner page. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, fantastic AMA. Is great to chat with you guys too at the end. I got to get going now because I'm looking for some houses and looking at houses.
You're at your
stuff,
destination.
Catch you later, guys.
Thanks, right, Miss. Have a good one, brother.
Go buy that house.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Don't spend all that elephant though. So I think that one person's question. So when they, I think when they're clicking on, so there's no airdrops in Elephant. So don't ever get scammed, guys. Don't answer DMs. There are different versions of airdrops you can do within the ecosystem. Like Papa Stonks, if I wanted to airdrop you Trunk token, there is an airdrop button for me to do that. if I wanted to transfer you some elephant token, I do have a way of doing that as well. And the airdrop might just also be pending rewards. So remember, once you get your referral link out there, Papa Stonks, people can actually earn 1% rewards split 50-50 between them and you, like on their futures and their Stampede and their farms. And all those rewards do get airdropped, into a pending section of your own account. Yeah. And then you can roll those into your Stampede. So that might be what they're referring to when it comes to airdrops and transfers.
Yep. No, 100%. I think that's exactly what it is. So ABD, I think he just answered your question. Somebody else asked about the raffle event. Can players decide to use multiple wallets to mint a minimum of 5 trunk to increase the chances of winning?
Yes.
And will the raffles be open sourced, like live on BC to ensure full transparency?
No, it doesn't need to be on a VC.
Why is everybody asking questions now? Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? But they probably saw raffles pop up when I was flipping through tokens. But basically, right here, you've got a raffle page, and you can see the last 7 days worth. But there was like 170 participants here yesterday, 181 the day before, 169. You can multi-wallet this and mint $5 worth of trunk. You also get a raffle ticket if you buy $60 worth of elephant. And you also get a raffle ticket if you deposit 200 trunk into Stampede. So there's 3 ways to buy a raffle ticket. And you can win, up to 20,000 trunk locked into your Stampede.
All right. And right now, multi-walleting it with $5 in trunk, you've got, I would say, a greater chance doing it that way, and a greater chance of being profitable. That's a 6x once the trunk regains the peg.
Yeah.
So you hold those wallets.
That's a fun thing too, man. These raffles right now are very underutilized. Like, look, 200 people or less, right? So you have really good odds of winning. And if you did win 20,000 trunk that goes into your Stampede, well, you're basically starting off a futures account essentially with $20,000 when it does peg. So this will become a major thing when trunk pegs and there's excitement around trunk again. Right now, this is very underutilized. I still enter the raffle on a daily basis. I'll tell you that.
Smart man.
Yes, sir.
Smart man. All right, guys. I'm sorry. You guys are a little late. We are over 2 hours as far as questions go. If SK wants to answer these in the chat, he can answer them in the chat. But we're not going to start dropping questions now that it's been an hour since we asked for some.
Yeah, no, I see. Let me see if any of the questions are quick. Are there some kind of threshold set for maximum and minimum amount of trunk rewards to be made? No min or max. Will there be any kind of manual checks required as well to withdrawals allowed? No, nothing required. Everything operates, and there's also a built-in Wikipedia on the website with a built-in chat GPT. So you can literally ask these same questions and it will answer for you. This other person asked, since holders of Elephant will receive passive rewards, when there's a transfer of Elephant token from one wallet to another, what happens? There's a 10% tax built in on Elephant transfers of the token directly, unless you use this transfer feature on the Elephant page. This will bypass the 10% tax, and you will only pay a 3.5% tax. So say you have a bunch of Elephant on your hot wallet, and you want to move it to a cold storage wallet, you will pay 3.5% tax, and that tax will go to Bertha, actually. So yeah, that was a decent question. How do you keep track of those as well? Just BSD scan.
Right.
For the graveyard smart contract, which is a major function, prevent holders from diluted, receive more and more. When you finally make it to major listing or SEX, we will never get on a centralized exchange unless they handle the tokenomics, like Papa said. What happens to the graveyard smart contract? Nothing. It always earns reflections, always rebalances. Number 2, what happens to the reward reflection for holders? Will it discontinue? No. There will always be reflections to holder wallets as well. So like if you buy 10 billion tokens today, Papa Stonks, and you check back in 3 months, you might have 10.3 billion tokens and be like, oh man, where'd that 0.3 come from? That's from the passive reflections. And that's always going to happen, guys, in perpetuity. I saw something in your website, which I don't really understand. It stated that you guys have trunk and elephant. So does that mean you have 2 different tokens, trunk and elephant? Yes, that's exactly what that means. We have 2 different tokens. If so, what is your reason for making 2 tokens? Why don't you just focus on 1 token? That was answered earlier, but basically Elephant Token is a business and the Elephant Token is the share price and Trunk Token is the front end product for the yield that we sell. So that is why there are 2 tokens. Okay, and no more questions.
Will be, yeah, and Trunk will be pegged at $1. So once it gets back to $1, that's where it stays. So hopefully that answers your questions. It's like the BUSD to the BNB.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, no, beautiful. Good set of questions. And yeah, I don't know, where you want to go with that, man, but I'm good if you are.
I think I think, it's we did give them plenty of opportunities to ask questions. I don't know why they're an hour late, but we did run a little bit over time. Not that there is a time limit, but I don't mind 2-hour AMAs. It's fine with me as long as we get all the information out there for everybody. That's all I care about.
Yes, absolutely, man. So I'm good with that. I don't have anything to close with either, other than, guys, this is a community bank. As you collect profits from other plays in crypto or even the real world, bring those profits to Elephant. It's the best store of value out there. The token will appreciate mathematically, and there's tons of yield generating aspects to live off of, really, with NFTs and Trunk and futures. You can really diversify just within this one ecosystem alone and change your life. So that's all I got.
Yes, sir. No, thank you again, SK, man. Really appreciate you taking the time to share with everybody here. This definitely is a unique project. It's a very unique project as far as how how much it appreciates even in the bearish times in this market. It just keeps going up. So everybody, please go and join the TG, get in there, hit all the socials, do your own research. And like SK said, if if you do have a question, you can ask it in the chat and it will be answered by the chat GPT in the chat.
Yep.
Grab yourself a bag of elephant, get some trunk, enter those daily raffles. If you win 20,000 trunk, that's huge. That's $20,000 once it's repegged. Get some NFTs, stake them, earn that elephant. This whole ecosystem is pretty big, and I personally don't think it's done yet. So
far from it, brother. Only getting started.
Yeah, no, I think I'm talking about bank tellers continuing to build. I think there
more
added.
Dude,
I think there will be more added to this ecosystem
exactly.
before all is said and done.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
But
yep.
yeah,
I
man.
think like once you realize you're great at something, you just don't stop. Like that's like back in the day, Jay-Z, the rapper, announcing his retirement. Then he still comes out rapping, or like Eminem, who's been rapping for 30 years. He knows he's the king. He just can't put it down because he loves to do it. He doesn't know what else to do with his time. I think BT might be the same way.
100%. And he's already made his name in the real world money space. Now he's going to cement it in the DeFi space as well. So,
Absolutely.
all right.
Okay.
With that said, everybody have a great night. Thank you for attending the AMA. Thank you, SK, for coming and sharing Elephant Money. I know we've been delayed a little bit, but we finally got it in here. We had some great questions from the community, and I think it's been an awesome AMA, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure, man. And thank you for the platform. And I look forward to future months and years, man, when you and I are going to stay in contact and we're just going to keep talking about how these numbers keep going up. So, yeah, it's a pleasure, dude. Thank you again.
100%, brother.